Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my July wrap up. I read 7 books this month and I am actually so happy about that. I don't think I've read more than 2 or 3 the past 2-3 months maybe, and I'm so happy that I hit 7 books. I hit 7! So the first 2 books that I actually read in July were The Two Towers and The Return of the King, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't remember if I technically finished Fellowship in July. I think I might have finished Fellowship technically, but I read the majority of it in June. So pretty much just this, which is awesome. So I do have to say I don't love the books as much as the movies. The book, it's just Tolkien's writing. It's too old-fashioned for me. And it's just too descriptive in a way that it takes me forever to read and I get distracted and I'm just not like pulled into it as much. However, the story is the same. The story is fantastic. Overall, the series gets 5 stars from me. However, each individual, the first and the second one I gave 4 stars and the third one I gave 5. Although there were things that I definitely really loved about this book. These books, I guess, I finally got past Tom Bombadil in the first one. I don't know why I could never get past him. All he does is sing and rhyme and stuff, and I just didn't see where he really came into the story as someone important. But that's just me. The second one was good, but I also felt like it just kind of dragged on and was just kind of like a weird buffer between the first and the third one. Although I really, really enjoyed Frodo and Sam in the second one a lot. And I really prefer them in the books way more than I prefer them in the movies, because I don't know, the way the books wrote about Frodo and Sam, I just really loved their friendship a lot more than the movies portrayed. Even though I love Sean Astin and Elijah Wood as Sam and Frodo. Sean Astin is a fantastic Sam. Like, fantastic. So, I don't know, it's just weird. And one thing that really stood out to me in this whole series was just how crazy weird the age differences were. Like, Frodo was like 50 and Pippin was like 29. Bilbo, I knew was like 100 and something. I think Aragorn was like 60 something maybe. I don't remember. The age just was weird. Mainly within the hobbits, not necessarily everybody else. And then in the third book, I really, really liked some added stuff to it, like the Battle of Bywater. So the ending with the Hobbit battle and them going back to the Shire and it being in like utter chaos. Because in the movie they go back and it's all happy and green and Sam gets married to Rosie, which he does in the book, but like stuff happens first, which is kind of weird because it just kind of, I don't know, it just felt really weird. But also, I liked that it gave us closure on Saruman and told us what happened to him. And same with, not Wormtail. Wormtongue. Gosh, why do I want to... Oh, I know why I want to call him Wormtail. So it's just really interesting. And I like getting closure and I like seeing how things progress after climaxes. Like, I hate when books, like, climax and then are just like, okay, and they lived happily ever after. Like, I like to see the progression of what happened. So, like, once the battles are done, getting things in order, Aragorn becoming king, them going back and just like making their way back to the Shire and stuff. I just really liked that. Also, something interesting about these is like the appendices are very important, which is really weird, but it's okay. I really like that there's more to Aragorn and Arwen's like romance than what the book actually says. So like if you're kind of reading it and you're like, what the heck? Read the appendices and it'll give you like actually their story, which I thought was really interesting. And I am glad that it had that and I'm glad that I read it. It's just weird that there's like a story within the appendices. Like you wouldn't really think that if you're reading an appendix. Sorry I'm going on so long about these, but it's just interesting. And then there was some cool stuff, like it gave some more timelines of what happens to the hobbits and the rest of the company. I just thought that was really cool and I really enjoyed that. So, Lord of the Rings by Tolkien, I have finally read. Can finally mark that off my lifelong TBR that I've had of this. And I don't know, maybe I'll read it again in 5 years, but I do not foresee myself reading this anytime soon again. Although I would like to read The Hobbit again because I read that back in like junior high, which was like 11 years ago. So I don't know. I would like to read that again and see if I still enjoy it. And just kind of see, because I feel like one thing I really liked about this is like The Hobbit plays a big role in this. Like a lot of things are mentioned in here that are from The Hobbit. So that's why I wish I kind of would have read it beforehand, but sorry. Okay, so actually in between those, I read a manga that was recommended to me by the French book dreamer, Elsa, and that was Lovecom. She did this really cool thing when she hit 100 subscribers, which I loved. So she is a huge manga reader, like reads so much manga. It's crazy. And she was like, when I reached 100 subscribers, she wanted to be able to recommend us a manga if we wanted to. And I've never read manga and I really wanted to read some. And so I was like, me please. So we told her what we wanted and then she'd recommend a manga. So Lovecom was one that was recommended to me. And one thing about manga is it's short, which is really good, very easy to read. The most difficult thing is just reading right to left and like trying to figure out the way that the story flows. But I was reading it on my phone, which was really easy to just like swipe instead of having to turn a page. I feel like I would have felt so backward if I was holding a physical book. But it was fine and it was great. It was really cute. It was really cheesy. I don't remember how many volumes are in the series, but I would like to continue reading them. I gave it 4 stars because I feel like the rest of them are going to get even better. And it's kind of like this little enemies to lovers kind of thing. Not really, but they're in high school and the girl is really tall, which is abnormal, and the guy is really short, which is abnormal. And so they're just like two ends of the spectrum, getting hate on both sides and like being made fun of, and they make fun of each other and like all this stuff, and they like hate each other. But then they realize like they want to date these people, and so like they're trying to like help each other out by getting dates with these people, and then they realize that they like each other. Very cute. So I really enjoyed it. And it was a really quick read. I read it in a couple of hours, maybe like an hour or so. Very simple, very cute. But I would like to read the others. The only thing is that I can't find physical copies anywhere and I don't want to keep buying them. But I really enjoyed that. I was glad that was the first manga I read. It made me interested in more manga and just being able to read it very simply and figuring it out as I was going. There wasn't too much going on. It was great. So thank you, Elsa, for the recommendation. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read, guys, I can't say his name. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I don't know, him, the silent patient author. But now he has a second book called The Maidens. And this was a thriller. This was really good. I think I gave it 5 stars. Yes, I think I gave it 5 stars. And actually, I think I like it better than The Silent Patient. So this was a kind of murder mystery of what is going on at Cambridge University. There was a murder, and the main character is a group therapist, and her niece is at Cambridge University where the murders are taking place. There's this one professor who is an American professor, and he is on the hot seat and kind of getting, like, they think he's the murderer, or like she thinks he's the murderer, the main character does, and is trying to figure out how to kind of get all the evidence and figure, like, get him, because he was guilty, but the authorities weren't really believing her. So, very interesting. Another murder happens. So stuff is just chaos. It's really good. There are so many suspects in here who I thought could be the murderer, but I never could fully pinpoint who it was. Although I think my instincts were telling me right away who it was. And so it was so cool. There's a lot of Greek tragedy that plays into this. So a lot of little Greek stories were really vital to this, which were really interesting. And I actually liked the way this ended. I really liked this. So I think I liked it better than The Silent Patient, mainly because The Silent Patient was more psychological thriller in your head. You're with the main character the whole time working at the therapist place. And this just had more characters and more interactions and more stuff going on, which I think I liked more. Although, if you've read The Silent Patient, there are little like crossover type situations that happen within this, which I think are so cool. I was reading it and I stumbled upon something and I was like, wait, what? It's just a cute little callback to The Silent Patient, and it kind of ties them together in a very small way. So it was really cool. Really enjoyed it. Sorry I keep pointing my finger. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay, after that, I read Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, and this is a Greek retelling of something. The king of Crete and his Minotaur son. There was a lot of stuff that happened in this. I thought I was gonna like this more than I did. I gave this 3 stars. It was okay. It just felt like as it went on, it like veered way out of the way from how it started. Like it started with this king who has these two daughters and 2 sons and his wife and all this, and he makes Poseidon mad, so Poseidon makes his wife go crazy in lust for this bull, so then the wife gets like impregnated by the bull and has a Minotaur as a son. And a Minotaur is just half bull, half person. So as he grows, he is set below the palace, and Athens did something to make the king of Crete mad, and so every month, they have to send 14 of their Athens children to the Minotaur to be like fed. And so the prince of Athens comes with, his name is Theseus, and basically tries to get rid of the Minotaur and kill him. And the main character's name is Ariadna. She has a sister named Phaedra who's like 5 years younger than she is. And it's really interesting. There's romance involved, and like it's just kind of weird. Once that happened, the storyline's kind of like, I don't know, drifted off and branched away. But you do get another point of view. So there's 2 point of views. You get Ariadna, and then at times you get her sister Phaedra. It was a very interesting book. I've never really read Greek retellings, so I'm sure people have heard of these stories before. I didn't know. I don't care for this one. It was okay. It was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite, and I don't probably plan on retelling it. Also, I will say, trigger warnings, there are mentions of there is suicide in this book towards the end, so if that's something that you need to stay away from, just bear that in mind. The next book that I read was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I have a vacation vlog of me reading this coming out soon. I don't know how soon. Sometime soon, I hope. I loved this book. 5 stars. Absolutely enjoyed it so much. I'm figuring out that I really enjoy Christina Lauren romance books. They are an incredible writing duo, and I absolutely have loved everything they've put out that I've read, which is 2 things, but I've loved them. The Unhoneymooners is about the main character. Her name is Olive. Her twin sister is getting married to a guy named Dane, and she is the maid of honor, and Dane's brother Ethan is the best man. So at Amy is the twin, Amy and Dane's wedding, everyone except for Olive and Ethan get food poisoning by the buffet because they didn't eat it. And so Amy had won a non-refundable, non-returnable, non-whatever transferable honeymoon to Hawaii, and she tells Olive to go on it, and Dane tells Ethan to go on it, so they go on it together, and it's kind of enemies to lovers. They hate each other, but of course they're gonna fall in love and realize that they love each other, and then there are some twists and turns in this. It makes me laugh. I laughed a lot. I smiled a lot, and just genuinely really, really, really enjoyed this. It was such an easy, quick read. It was a great beach read, and I absolutely just it was so good. It was really good, and I do plan on rereading this, I'm sure. I really liked this. There are a lot of themes of luck and bad luck in this, but also there's so much self-love and body love that it was just really good. Technically, the last thing that I read for July was another manga, which wasn't recommended to me, but it was recommended, well, it was kind of recommended to me, but it was recommended to another person on the French Book Dreamers video. So this was Dengeki Daisy. I liked this one a little more than Love Com. This one, I want to buy the next book, like immediately, the next volume. The main character, her brother has died, and she's given this phone, and if anything happens to her, or like to keep her from being lonely, she can talk to this person named Daisy. And she is at school and breaks a window and has to work with the like young custodian. And it's just really sweet. She's constantly calling, like having Daisy help her and stuff, and like people pick on her, and Daisy comes to her rescue many times. But all the while, we're like falling in love with this custodian because he's hilarious and just really, I love it. So it's kind of, I don't want to give anything away, so I'm not going to say much. But Daisy does come to her rescue a lot. And so I gave this one 4 stars because I liked it so much. I think the next ones are going to be even better. But if they're not, then maybe I'll change my mind and give this one 5 star. Who knows? But I really liked it. And those were all the books that I read in July. I had such a great month reading in July, and I think most of it was because I spent like 20 hours in a car traveling from Georgia to Iowa. In a camper, so with children, and we made multiple stops and we had to camp, and it was just a very long drive. So that's all I've got for this, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give a like and comment down below what your favorite book from July was. I would love to know. I love hearing what you guys are reading and what you guys are enjoying. And with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!